Shuttered, and this is my presentation on COVID-19 and the effect it had on small businesses. So as we know, during COVID-19, businesses in general were hit pretty hard. Some businesses had to close, other businesses, their hours were significantly reduced. Even big corporations such as Walmart, who are sometimes open 24 hours, reduced their hours. And so I'm just going to talk about kind of the implications that COVID had on small businesses and then some COVID relief options that were offered through the Small Business Administration. So first I'm going to talk about what impact that COVID-19 had on small businesses. Some statistics that I found were that there was a loss of 3.3 million active business owners from February to April 2020. So this was kind of the start of COVID when everything first began to shut down. And another statistic was the total hours worked by business owners. All business owners dropped by 29%. This is businesses incorporated, unincorporated, small, large, and for incorporated businesses, the percentage was actually 20%. It was a little bit lower. But for all businesses in general, 29% hours dropped. There was a study done back in March of 2020 of nearly 6,000 small businesses that were in the Alignable Business Network. And in this study, it showed that 43% of these businesses had to temporarily close due to COVID. So they had a significant decrease in revenue having to be closed for that period of time. So the focus of this presentation is actually the COVID relief options that were offered to small businesses during this time. These options were offered by the Small Business Administration. They are the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the Shuttered Venue Grants, and the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. So probably the biggest program that was initiated was the Paycheck Protection Program. It was established by the CARES Act and implemented by the SBA along with the support of the Department of Treasury. So this program or this loan allowed businesses funds to pay their employees with up to 8 weeks of payroll funds, including benefits, but also the use of the funds could be to pay mortgage or rent and utilities, so just any expenses to help the business stay afloat. So who was eligible for the PPP loan? Any business that was kind of laid out in the Small Business Act was eligible. So this would be small businesses, eligible nonprofits, veteran organizations, tribal businesses, and then individuals who were self-employed and independent contractors were eligible if they met the program standards that were laid out in that Small Business Act. So with the PPP loan, there was also PPP loan forgiveness. So some of the borrowers had these funds for the loan forgiven. Borrowers were eligible for loan forgiveness if the funds were used for eligible payroll costs or other business costs during either the 8 or 24-week period after the disbursement of these funds. The business or borrower could apply for forgiveness once they had received all of the proceeds from the loan. They could apply for the funds up until the maturity date of the loan. If they did not apply for forgiveness within 10 months after the last day of the covered period, the loan payments were no longer deferred and the borrowers would need to begin making loan payments to their PPP lender. So the second relief option was the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It just helped small businesses by providing them accessible and borrower-friendly capital. This loan came directly from the Small Business Administration. The proceeds may be used for regular operating expenses, so again, payroll, mortgages, utilities, or other business expenses to help them continue business during this time. So for this loan, it was a max loan amount of $2 million. There was a 30-year loan term For businesses, the interest rate was 3.7%. It was a fixed rate. For private nonprofit organizations, the interest rate was 2.75%. There were no loan fees for loans less than $25,000 if the business applied through the SBA. If the loans were greater than $25,000, there was a one-time $100 fee for filing a lien on the borrower's business assets. So the next COVID relief option was the Shuttered venue grants. This grant provided emergency assistance for eligible venues affected by COVID. So the eligible applicants may qualify for grants equivalent to 45% of their gross earned revenue. The max amount $2 million or $10 million, with $2 billion reserved for eligible applicants with up to 50 full-time employees. So $2 billion reserved for this grant. That's a lot of money to me. For the restaurant revitalization funds, this program offered emergency assistance for eligible restaurants, bars, and other businesses, food service businesses. These funds were established through the American Rescue Plan Act in the spring of 2021, where the others, the PPP loan and the EIDL, were established in 2020. So with this fund, there was $28.6 billion in federal grant money administered by the SBA to help eligible businesses. So in conclusion, there were many different relief options offered to help small businesses that were affected by COVID and that had lost revenues during this time. The PPP program was the largest relief program, offering over $650 billion to help businesses through COVID. The EIDL was the second highest program, providing over $150 billion, and this number was as of July 2020. So that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions on my research or just have a question on something in my slides, just shoot me an email or ask me after class. And thank you for watching my presentation.